Welcome to the Potter Discussion.
Welcome back to the Potter Discussion. This is episode 107, and on today's episode, we will be impersonating some of the Harry Potter characters. Let's do this. Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potter Discussion. This is episode 107, the Impressions episode. I have been promising this episode for a very long time, and I will address a mistake I made last episode. I said that was episode 105. That was actually episode 106, and I did say that in 2 episodes, it would be episode 107, and now we do the Impressions episode. But when I was listening back and I was listening to the previous episode, I realized that I said 105 for both of them, and I realized that 106 was the last episode, and that this one would be 107, and that I promised an Impressions episode, so I figured, hey, I have an excuse to do it earlier, why not? So here you have it. This is the Impressions episode. I'm very excited too because I've compiled some of my favorite impressions that I have, heard the lines over the years, and just like the certain quotes that I've said, right when they come up in the movies or the books that I just have to say out loud. You know those. So that is what I will be doing today. I'll be impersonating some of the characters, trying to see how close I can get, and play along. Try to record yourself too, compare the 2 clips, and let's see who won. I mean, it's not a competition, but, we can make it one if you want. So, yeah, this is going to be a very, very fun episode. Before we get into it, I will remind you that the 2 links in the show notes below are still available. The SpeakPipe page link and the Google form link for anything you want to hear or say on the show. You can submit something for audio, you can submit something for text. It is completely up to you. If you can also send me an email. My email is ThePotterDiscussion@gmail.com. That is ThePotterDiscussion@gmail.com for, again, anything you want to hear or say on the show. All right, let's get into today's episode. I know I promised impressions, but I am going to have to take up your time for just a few minutes for a couple of announcements. First off, happy 20 years. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone, whatever you call it, is celebrating its 20 years anniversary. It is in November. I think I'm a little late, but 20 years is a very long time. And there have been lots of interviews with Chris Columbus. I'm sure you can find one of those if that interests you. Those have been circulating on the internet. And another piece of news that I think is very exciting is there is a new Harry Potter game show that will be streaming on HBO Max. I think it's airing on, I think it's the new year. I haven't done my research too thoroughly, but that is dropping on the new year. That's if you want to know more. I'm sure you can just look up, Harry Potter game show. There are a lot of our favorite actors, including Helena Bonham Carter, Ralph Fiennes, and the trio. Surprisingly, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint are coming back. I never thought in a million years that would happen. But here they are. They are going back, and that is going to be very exciting. Again, on HBO Max, if you want to, check that out. But another thing that's happening is, well, at least that has to happen, is the trailer. I know a lot of other Harry Potter podcasters have been talking about this, but where is the trailer for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 3, The Secrets of Dumbledore? We've been waiting for this thing for so long, and they have to promote it. This huge Harry Potter thing with all the actors, they have to promote this trailer on that day, on New Year's, if and when it drops on that day. And if there is no trailer then, I don't know what's happening. There might be no trailer. I mean, there might be no movie. I mean, like, there has to be some trailer soon. I mean, I thought it would be coming up much earlier, but so far, nothing. We have had nothing so far, and I don't know. Something fishy is going on, and I definitely want that trailer. I'm sure everyone here wants it too, and we're gonna definitely, I'm gonna let you know that there is a trailer out as soon as I hear wind of it, and I'll certainly be watching it, and I will be reviewing it on the show. So that is all the news, that's all the announcements, but now, for real, let's get into the impressions. Okay, the first impression we have up is Snape. Snape, Severus Snape. This guy has a very unique voice, and Alan Rickman, I think, portrayed Snape in a very, very good way. I think he definitely managed to capture Snape's kind of moody, dark, sullen kind of attitude, but also somewhat, snarky and just kind of enjoying, it's, kind of cruel, but he enjoys others' pain. So I think Alan Rickman definitely did a very good job in capturing that with Snape's character. And most notably is, besides the abnormally large nose and the greasy curtains of hair, and of course the amazing walk that he has through the castle, with his cloak billowing out behind him, we have the voice. The voice of Snape. Oh man, oh boy. This thing is crazy. It is exactly what you would imagine a voice like Snape's to be. It is exactly what you picture when you think of Alan Rickman and Snape. This is one of those voices that you hear and you go, oh yeah, I know what that is. So this is it. This is my official impression of Snape. Why did I agree to this? Why am I doing this to myself? Okay, let's just do this. I think, funnily enough, I'm giving myself something easy to start with, and that is just saying yes. Because Snape, when I was watching The Order of the Phoenix, I was noticing how funny that scene was when Umbridge was interviewing Snape, and he just going yes, all the questions, and in the end, and he said, obviously, that was one of those, Snape will, look you in the eye and, turn you to stone or something like that. He was, giving Umbridge, death stare, even though he wasn't looking at her. You could tell he was gonna do something bad if she kept going. So that, I think, is a very, very funny thing. And, I'm stalling, so let's just do this. Here's my impression of Snape. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, that was painful. Oh, no. That was so much worse than I thought. Okay, so I am never doing that again, but that was my yes impression of Snape. Just saying yes to Umbridge. Whew. Okay, that's over with, but I think there's one more that I think is another very famous Snape line. Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. That line that was in the first book, Philosopher's Stone. Snape said that in Harry's first potions class. So I think that also deserves a quote. So here it is. This is my Mr. Potter, our new celebrity, in the voice of Snape. Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. Okay, I tried to keep it together. I tried so hard to keep it together for that one, but that one, come on. That one was pretty good. For me. My voice is nothing like Snape's, but I tried my hardest. I tried my hardest in that one. I hope you enjoyed that, because you're never hearing it again. Yeah, you probably are, but I'm gonna be on an impressions cleanse. That was oof. Okay, I can't linger. There's so much more I want to do. So let's get on to the next impression. And the next lucky contender for a lovely impression on the Potter discussion is Dumbledore. Dumbledore is the next impressions I would like to do, mostly because he has such a unique voice, and especially with Richard Harris, it was very kind of like whispery and kind of, very, very gravelly. I think that was a very interesting way of speaking with Dumbledore. And I think I want to attempt something that Dumbledore said to Harry at the very end of the Philosopher's Stone. This is Richard Harris's Dumbledore, and it was love, Harry, love. Dumbledore was telling Harry about how his mother sacrificed herself for Harry, leaving a mark that cannot be seen but lives under Harry's skin. And then he said, "It's love, Harry, it's love." So that is the quote I'll be doing. Let's do this. Love, Harry. Love. Okay, that one was good. I do not care what you think. That one was so good. I am going to be listening to that one for the rest of my life. That one was, oh man, I thought Dumbledore was speaking. Honestly, I thought that Dumbledore was in the room, and I thought he was talking into the mic, not me. That Dumbledore? Are you here? No, it was just me. That was just me. Wow, okay, that was, okay, I mean, like, I'm gonna listen back to that one a ton, because that was actually not bad, and Dumbledore's voice is much easier to simulate than Snape's, because it's much more natural, but with just like a different, timbre in the voice. So I think that one was definitely easier to do, but I mean, like, I don't care, because that one was good. That one was just straight good. And I'm moving on to another one, just so I quit while I'm ahead, to another Dumbledore quote. And what Dumbledore quote should we do? Oh, of course. This was not in the movies, but I think I can pretty much guess what he would say. Nitwit, oddment, blubber, tweak. Thank you. That one is, I just have to. It's a given. Every Dumbledore thing we do, I have to just say nitwit, oddment, blubber, tweak. Thank you at least once. And this will be that once for the Dumbledore quotes, so let's do this. Nitwit, oddment, blubber, tweak. Thank you. I don't know. He is giving a speech, so you would have to talk a little louder. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but I think my love, Harry love, that one's a lot better than that one. This is a difficult one, because I know Dumbledore in this scene, it was not in the movies, but Dumbledore was giving a speech. And this was his, I want to say a few words, and here they are. Nitwit, oddment, blubber, tweak, thank you. And then he sits down, and the feast appears, and Harry's like, oh my god, you know that scene? So it was not in the movies, but I think he says something different. Not nitwit, oddment, blubber, tweak, thank you. I'm going to say that a ton. So that's what Dumbledore says. It's only in the books, not in the movie. So it is much more difficult, because he is talking loudly, and Dumbledore never talks loudly. You're kidding? Well, at least Richard Harris does never talk. He never talks loudly, but Michael Gambon would scream at you. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm guessing from the ferocity, the difference in ferocity from these different characters. But that is my Richard Harris Dumbledore, and let's move on, because there are some other very exciting ones that I want you to hear. And next up, we have the one that started it all. The one impression I did, and I said I have to do an impressions episode after this, and that is Sirius. Sirius Black and the Battle of the Order of the Phoenix. His very, very funny sound that I think has to be the first, just in honor. In honor of Gary Oldman, in honor of the inspiration for this episode, we have to do the Battle of the Order of the Phoenix impression, because that is just great. So here it is. I know I did do it in the couple episodes ago, but this is the official impression that they will be playing at the Best Sound Award. So this is my impression of Sirius. So let's do this. There you go. One sound. That's all you need. That's all you need. One sound, and that is it. That is my Sirius impression. There it is. It's in the bag. All I needed was one take of that, and I am done. That is it. All right. That is it. That is my Sirius. And I feel like, that's my Sirius sound, But we have to do one. We have to do a line. What Sirius line could we possibly do? Oh no, I've just had a thought. I can't go back. Oh gosh, okay. I have the perfect quote that is perfect for you, not perfect for me in the slightest. And that is the, I did my waiting, 12 years of it in Azkaban. Okay, that is the Sirius quote when they were about to kill Peter Pettigrew in the Prisoner of Azkaban in the Shrieking Shack. And Sirius is like, oh, come on, Remus, let's kill him. And then Remus is like, wait. And Sirius is like, I did my waiting 12 years of it. So that is the quote I want to do next. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, let's get this over with. I did my waiting 12 years of it in Azkaban. Oh, man. I mean, okay, I had to watch that scene a lot. That took like 10 minutes just to get that one take. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. That actually took a surprising amount of work. That was a very difficult quote to get, but I think we got it pretty good. And now we're moving on to another quote. Some more people to quote. I'm very excited, so let's do this. And now we have one that I think is a very, very recognizable and characteristically distinguished quote and kind of character in general, I guess. And that is Draco Malfoy. We did talk about Draco previously, but today we will be doing the official impression of him. And there are two lines that I think will fit this, the requirements of being well known and, very, very matching of the character. And that is his Potter and the my father will hear about this. So those are the two quotes we will be doing. And yeah, I mean, like, for this one, I think it's not going to be that hard because Draco's voice, well, I guess Tom Felton's voice is on the more, I guess you could call it, more real world scale. The voices of people like Dumbledore, no one talks. I mean, Richard Harris and maybe his brother, those are the two people that talk like whisper. And of course Grindelwald, Voldemort, and Richard Harris. They are the whisperers of the world, and those are like the only people. But Dom/Draco really have a considerably more human voice, a voice you would hear just down the street, on the road. Something that makes it much easier to kind of imagine and simulate in your own words, which I think is going to help me a lot in this impression. But besides that, I also think that Draco says more common things. No one says, no one is saying, love, Harry, love, but like Potter, like a name, Potter. I'm a Potter, you're a Potter. And then also, my father will hear about this. I think these are definitely, phrases that are said much more often, more commonly than the previous ones, just because they don't have, pertain to anything magical. And they don't, purely exist in the magical world to describe something in it, a character, a theme, a place, even something like a spell or a potion that could possibly exist in the real world. But I think Draco's voice is very, very similar to ones you might even hear on your everyday, which definitely helps this impression, thrive and just sound better, which I think is going to help me. It's going to help me most of all, because I am needing a break. I need a break from this. We're 20 minutes in, I'm already needing something. So yeah, let's do it. So I think we're going to start with the Potter. Pottah. Potter. Okay. Potter. All right. That one, maybe my best one. I don't know, because again, the Draco quotes are very similar to ones you would hear on the everyday, and maybe that might not be one that you hear every day. But even if you're watching the movies and you hear someone talk and then someone hears Draco talk, it's not like they're completely different things. Like with Hagrid, no one is the size of Hagrid. It's like the average person is not that doesn't have hands that are the sizes of of trash can lids. That's just not something that you see. And there are people with, like very, very large hands. That's not the point. But Hagrid is just an abnormally large human being. And it's the same with people like Dumbledore. They're just very, very gentle souls. At least, well, at least Richard Harris, again, because Michael Gambon, whew. We have got to do a difference episode. Maybe we already have, but there's a very distinct difference between Richard Harris. Oh, we did. I'm remembering now. We did do a difference. But still, again, the voices, I think, are very much decided by of course, the actor, but also the actions of the character and their stature in the story. Because not every character can have this strong voice. Sometimes I have to kind of back off and be quiet and just kind of not really exist, because their character is not a huge deal in some of the story. But there are some characters that have to be strong, that they have to be saying these things with strength. And I think Draco is one of those people. And it's not that he has the strength to say it. I think it's more that he has to say it with strength. Or people will see, or at least Draco thinks that other people will see himself as weak. And that, of course, circles back to all of Draco's insecurities and family issues and all of that. We will not get into that, but I think that also very much connected to the way Draco says things. And hopefully I will keep that in mind as we go into this next impression and of Draco. This is my father will hear about this. He says this, a ton. And this is just one of those quotes that I always imagine when he says in The Prisoner of Azkaban, when Moody transfigures him into a ferret and then bounces up and down against, like a stone. That's much more cruel than I think Draco deserves. But that is the quote that I'll be saying. And let's get into this. My father will hear about this. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, I think that was pretty good. I think that I did at least a semi-good job, because that, again, is a very difficult impression to do, even though it's a very normal voice. But still, I think looking over everything, I will never sound exactly like those characters. But I think that's about the closest that I can get. That's just about where I'm going to be. Because, my father will hear about this is something that is said by Draco a lot. Because he wants his father to hear about this. But I think with Draco, another challenge is recognizing the situation. And without the context, it is very difficult to tell how to say the things that Draco is saying in that moment. But despite that fact, I think that quote is said with a very similar kind of timbre, and said with a very similar meaning in mind. That is when something, even something minor, bad that happens to him, Draco has to say something. He has to speak up for himself, and he has to, he has to be strong. He has to tell his dad. He has to make a difference. At least that's what he thinks. But that's a whole different issue. But that is it. That is the Draco quotes, and let's move on. Alright, so this next person that I will be impersonating is a very notable character and someone who has a lot of quotes to their name. And that is Voldemort. Albus Voldemort. Voldemort, period, Tom Riddle. Tom Riddle / Voldemort has he's a character. He is just an absolute, character. He has so many things to say, so many anger spells to fire off, so many Avada Kedavras to scream and whip at someone. And I mean, the Avada Kedavra is coming, that is last. But I want to say, Harry Potter, come to die. And that is what he says when Harry goes into the forest, to sacrifice himself for his friends. And, it's a whole happy ending, and they're also, yay. So that is what I will be doing. So let's do that quote first, and then we can do the, if you know what I'm saying. That was the Avada Kedavra. So we have the Harry Potter come to die right now. Harry Potter, come to die. Whew, okay, so it's over. But I think for that one, the key was to get, kind of like the whispering just right, because he is one of the whisperers of Harry Potter. Okay, episode idea, the whispers of Harry Potter. I'm gonna put that in the book. But being a whisperer of Harry Potter, I think he is a very kind of loud whisperer. He's one of those people that when he talks, just the room gets silent and everyone stops talking. And I think that is one of the things that makes Voldemort such a compelling character and such an effective leader, because he just has a commanding presence. And, whispering, it's just a show of his power, that he doesn't have to talk loud for people to listen to him. He just has to say what he needs to, and it will be done. And Harry Potter Come to Die is a perfect example of that, because he doesn't need to say anything, he doesn't need to shout, he doesn't need to do anything like that. All he has to do is whisper. So, so that is what that is the Voldemort quote number 1. But now we're moving on to Voldemort number 2, and that is the Avada Kedavra. This one I've been quoting for years. I've been impersonating Voldemort, saying Avada Kedavra for a very long time. So I'm excited to do this one finally on air. So I'm gonna back off the mic from this one. I'm hoping my neighbors won't get mad. Hopefully won't. So let's do the Avada Kedavra. Okay, alright. Maybe I will have to sacrifice my sore throat for that one. But, okay. For that one, I think the wind-up, it really what makes or breaks that impression, because the... that one, I think, is a very, very, kind of notable and recognizable impression. And I think I executed it with valor and with impersonation power. Oh, that rhymed. But I'm gonna give myself let's say 7 out of 10, because maybe the impression itself wasn't the best, whatever. But I think at least the wind up, I think in my opinion, was pretty good. And I'm gonna give myself that one just because I am very, very happy with, yes, the wind up, and also my commitment for that one. I mean, I really just threw myself in there, and I think it really paid off, because that was a really, really good impression. And as the young folk would say, that was fire. I'm so cool. But that's Voldemort. I think that is it for Voldemort. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it be. I'm going to quit while I am ahead. Okay, so I know I said I would quit while I'm ahead, but there are 2 impressions that I want to do, and that is for Mad-Eye Moody and for Dolores Umbridge. They have 2 different lines that I think I want to say just for the fun of it, because they are two very well done lines and two very characteristically unique lines. And that is for Moody when he says, and is there a better place to put your gum than the underside of your desk, Mr. Finnegan? And then he says, and then Seamus says, something very mean. And then Professor Moody throws his chalk across the classroom and he says, and here are class rooms. So that I think is one that I want to do. And also for Umbridge, I want to do her, you know that one? That sounded like my cat. No, like the you know the one. So I think we're gonna start with the Moody, then go into the Umbridge, and then that will be it for this episode. So let's do the Moody. And is there a better place to put your gum than the inside of your desk, Mr. Finnegan? I actually really like this one because it's the best of both worlds. I think it displays Barty Crouch Jr.'s character and Moody's character in kind of as one, because Barty Crouch is a very intense person. He wants to serve Voldemort. He wants to defeat all of the bad guys, all of the good people, and he also does a really good job of doing a Moody line, because that is exactly something Moody would say, trying to scare his students straight. So that is a very, very good Moody quote that I think should be remembered. But with no time to lose, we should move on to the Umbridge quote. Let's do that right now. That one, I always laugh at that one because it sounds like one of my cats. I have two little kitties, and one of them sounds exactly like that. I mean, that's hilarious, and my voice will never go that high, but Umbridge has a very, very funny, like a squeak, almost, and that's another similar to Moody, that's very similar to her character, because she's just so sweet and innocent on the outside, but she is, like, rotten on the inside, and that is, basically describes Umbridge, and I think that's it. I think that's his episode. I hope you enjoy this. You better save this you better make a record and then put this in your closet and then never, ever, ever sell it. I know you could probably sell it for like $1 million just because it's the best episode you've ever heard. But you will be able to keep this forever because I'm never doing this again. Never. I'm never doing this again. But yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, this was very fun, and maybe in the future I'll be doing this again. I mean, I don't know. So let's just close this episode out so I can get a move on. I went out for breakfast this morning, to a diner near me. Of course, delicious. And yeah, I got back a little late. I started recording at like 10:30. In the morning, which might sound like crazy early to some people, but I usually start recording like 9:30. It's crazy. Right now it's 11:30. Oh my gosh, I gotta get going. So I have to edit this, but all the fun magical twists you hear. So I hope you enjoy listening to these episodes, because it certainly takes up a lot of my day to make them, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So that is this episode. If you have anything you want to hear or say on the show, again, the two links in the show notes below, the SpeakPipe page for a voice submission and the Google form for a text submission. You can also send me an email. My email is ThePotterDiscussion@gmail.com. That is ThePotterDiscussion@gmail.com. And I haven't said this in a while, but if you want to tell someone in your friend group or someone in your family about the show who would enjoy it, I would 100% be appreciating that. And no matter what you do, however big or small, I will appreciate you taking time out of your day to do something on the show. So thank you for that. Thank you for listening. And as always, use these impressions to your advantage. And I will see you later.